Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Weekend Wrap-Up Show. I'm David Thomas. This is Mr. Josh Blevins. Josh, how was Thanksgiving? Did you eat any turkey?
I had some turkey. I had a turkey coma. I watched some football.
Yeah.
I did all the Thanksgiving-y things.
Okay.
So, yes, I was very thankful. I was grateful.
Yeah.
And I ate a lot of food.
And watched football.
And watched football. A lot of football. Way too much football.
Way too much football. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you probably watched enough. You could have been in here on the sports show.
Well, no. I heard you guys going. You were on fire this morning.
Yeah. Bill Anderson was a little bit.
He was a little riled up.
He was a little riled up.
I think he was into that
fun.
I think he was into the eggnog maybe on Thanksgiving.
I don't think so. I think he was just excited about football.
He was just happy to have a lot of football.
So. Well, we've got a lot of things to cover this morning, Josh. We need to hear from our sponsors, which it would be Auto Collection and Dennis Young Insurance
and Extreme Flooring.
Extreme Flooring. We appreciate our sponsors. We're going to take a little break and come back, and Josh is going to dive in and guide us through the conversation.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back.
Now available at Auto Collection, we currently have 2 excellent vehicles in stock, both with clean titles and in great condition. 2015 Ford Escape, 119,000 miles. 2021 Nissan Altima, 60,000 miles. Whether you're looking for a dependable SUV or a modern, fuel-efficient sedan, these vehicles offer quality, reliability, and value. Visit us at Auto Collection 319 Madison Street, Shelbyville. Call us today, 931-492-4663. Schedule your test drive and let us help you find the right vehicle for your needs.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
Ready to upgrade your space? At Extreme Flooring in Shelbyville, we've got you covered. From carpet and hardwood to luxury vinyl, tile, and waterproof flooring. We also handle kitchen backsplash and bath remodels. Our design and sales team will help you find the perfect fit with trusted brands like Dreamweaver, Shaw, Mohawk, Dull Tile, and Tile Bar. And their certified installers make sure everything looks just right. Stop by and see us at 225 Colorado Boulevard in Shelbyville or give us a call at 931-735-6700. Financing is available. Schedule your consultation today at extreme-flooring.com. Let's make your home amazing.
All righty, welcome back into the Weekend Wrap-Up Show. Josh, let's dive in.
Short week because we had the turkey holiday there, so it wasn't a whole lot. We actually want to start by going backwards a week. We talked extensively last week about the rock quarry issue, the possible rock quarry on Fairfield Pike and Highway 64. We've received at least one email since then from somebody that was concerned that they didn't feel like we went in the right direction. And also a neighbor actually posted, I believe over the weekend here, about it that's actually living with it and is right in with it. And I just wanted to go back, and I know we talked a long time last week, just try to condense it down and re-clarify what we're seeing, what kind of we gathered from the research we've done. The rub is that it's a rock quarry that's not TDEC, doesn't have the proper paperwork from TDEC. What we found was they did receive a TDEC permit, which we explained last week, from the Division of Water Resources.
Right.
A different division of TDEC has come back, the Division of Mining, and said, hey, you need a permit from us as well. So they're currently in a 60-day period where they have the opportunity to apply for that permit, which TDEC may or may not grant. That will depend on that Division of Mining Resources. One of the email we got said, hey, TDEC cannot come in and override county zoning. That is correct. They cannot. TDEC does not have the power to come in and say, hey, you can put something here in spite of county zoning. Where the legal issue is at, and where I feel like it's probably going to end up going to some kind of litigation, is this Right to Farm Act. If you read the Right to Farm Act like me, and you're not a lawyer, and you just read the wording, it doesn't look like it applies to this situation. It looks like it just applies to farming. The problem is there was a court case, I believe it was just last year, that went up to the state court of appeals, and the state court of appeals took a very broad view of that right to farm
Now,
act.
is this the one where you were talking about the wedding venue
This
or
is
whatever?
this was a
yeah.
wedding venue, but the ruling, and our friend Paul Engel would hate me using the word ruling from a court, but this
Yes,
that's
right.
that's what we're going to call it. The Tennessee State Court of Appeals ruled that the Right to Farm Act is broader than its actual language. They felt like in the ruling that they issued that the legislature had in mind something more than farm activities. What they allowed in this case, this was a wedding venue, but they allowed that as long as the primary use of the property is farming, that they could have an additional secondary use that didn't necessarily have to be farm related, but if it was supporting the person that owned the property who was a farmer
Right.
and did farming, that they would allow the secondary use.
Okay.
Even if, and this was the case with wedding venue, the secondary use could even be the primary financial earner, for lack of a better term,
Yeah.
for the property. They could be making way more money
With
on-
the secondary.
with the secondary use, but as long as the primary time use of the property and the property owner was farming, they allowed it. So that is going to be the argument. Now, I know we heard, if you look online, most people may have seen it, the neighbor that's upset, which I totally get. If I lived next to it, I'd be raising Cain by this point too. So that's why I feel like it's going to go to litigation. Now, the question is, the neighbors want the county to litigate this. That would put the county in the position of litigating for a narrower view of the Right to Farm Act. And also, it would put the county in the position of siding with one or the other parties. Both parties are county residents. And I know, and I get all the posts about, the good old boys, and these are the people that are well connected, or the ones that are getting the break here. And I understand that position, but you also have to understand that there is a legal argument. I've seen letters from attorneys arguing both sides. And again, I'm not an attorney. Both letters that I saw seem to make reasonable sense. So I think
Right.
it's going to come down to a court.
And that secondary primary are going to be the two key words probably in the litigation.
It is, yeah. It's all going to come down to what your interpretation of that Right to Farm Act is. They've made it one interpretation based on one case. Will they come back and revisit it based on something involving the rock quarrying? So
Right.
that's where we're at. And yeah, I sure feel bad for the people that have to live right next to it and have a truck driving by every day. I mean, the other side of the argument could be, if I was, the person, gathering rock and stuff, maybe be a little bit of a better neighbor, talk to your neighbor and try to come to some kind of a little better understanding of, it'd be nice if you weren't driving by my house at 5 a.m. with a big rock truck. So,
Yeah.
That's a possible consideration there too. There's what's legal, and then there's also what's right and, what's neighborly. So that could be another side of it. So,
And that takes it out of public debate and puts it into relational stuff.
actually having a relation, talking to your neighbor. I know that's
Yeah.
a crazy concept, but that might be a direction. to go with
sometimes
it
a
as
fence
well.
makes
So,
a good neighbor.
a fence. In this case, if I could afford it and I had this going on, I'd put the biggest fence I could up there
You
for
get
sure.
Trump
but-
come build your wall. wouldn't you?
Yeah, but I mean, a big truck rolling by your house, I don't know that a fence is going to help you
Not
a lot
much,
either.
not much.
So yeah, so that's going back a whole week. So just wanted to recover that because we've gotten some more feedback on that. Really, no more news on that. I think
Right,
that's one
right.
that's going to go on for a while. Till till it comes to some
We'll
kind of
probably
legal-
just hear a result down the road. Somewhere.
down the road at some point. If something newsworthy comes up, we'll definitely bring it up. Which, speaking of which, let's go into the story of the week again, which has come back around. The Uncle Nearest case, which has been going on for quite a few months here now. Things had gone quiet about, I don't know. I should have looked up the date. What, about a month or maybe more than a month ago now? Everybody had decided to come together, sing Kumbaya, and hold hands, and they were all working together.
Yeah.
So everything was on a hold.
Well, there was a deadline November the 1st, wasn't there? Somewhat for something, or maybe October 28th or something.
Well, they had what had happened at that point. And I don't remember the exact date. The Weavers had hired a new attorney to replace the old one. He was a firebrand. He put out he made a filing that was pretty, harsh towards the bank and towards everybody else. And then there was a reply sent, and then all of a sudden they just came in and said, "Oh, we'll just go ahead and give you our paperwork, and we're all going to work together again." So that's where we've been at for a few weeks,
Right.
until Monday. Monday, which I'm not going to go deep into the filing, but on Monday, which we had an article on it, you can read on our Facebook. The Weavers filed a request for an emergency lifting of the receivership stay in order so that they could file responses, and they wanted to go ahead and move to a judgment on some of the issues. They said they're concerned that the receiver is moving towards a sale of assets at a time that the spirits industry is basically in a lull. So I guess they just finally realized that the receiver was looking to sell stuff possibly, and
Looks like
and they thought maybe this isn't the best time to be selling, because they're right. Everything we hear, the liquor industry is not doing well overall. They also filed that they were concerned that competitors have received access to confidential and competitively sensitive information about pricing, distributor relationships, production planning, supply chain, and other trade secrets. So basically they're saying they feel like there's some third-party other liquor companies, which I've heard. I mean, everybody's heard talk of maybe Brown-Forman and what is it, Diageo, the one that owns the Dickel down the road, possibly a third one. Have been looking around.
Here's the thing about this, Josh. When a company goes to buy another company, they look at the books. You got to do that. Okay, they sign NDAs. In most cases, this process is just normal. This is not like they're a victim here. This is just what's going to happen if they sell the thing.
Yeah, that's the only way to sell it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to write you a big old check if they don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So that was Monday. Tuesday, the judge immediately issued an order, and he said farm credit. And then also what was interesting about the Monday order, or the Monday filing, it came directly just from Keith and Fawn Weaver and Grant Sidney Inc. It did not come from Uncle Nearest Green. It didn't come from all the defendants in the case. It just came from those three entities, two of which were in the original case. Grant Sidney was not. So the judge said, hey, you guys have filed your paperwork. I want to hear from Uncle Nearest. I want to hear from Nearest Green Distillery. I want to hear from Uncle Nearest Real Estate Holdings. And then I also want to hear from Farm Credit. He said, in addition, if he feels like it, the receiver is welcome to file something, but I don't need to hear from him. I just need to hear from everybody that's involved in the actual original legal lawsuit here. So what actually happened was before any of those entities could respond, the receiver came right back the day before Thanksgiving, and he filed a whopper of a response and said
he wasn't a happy camper.
He was not a happy camper. And he said he asked the judge to dismiss the motion that was filed on Monday, stay where we're at. He said, I've just started to right the ship. I've got things kind of going in the right direction, and we're about to blow this thing up and, lose money for everybody, including the bank and all the entities. So
let's stop here just for a second. He is working to get liquid enough to take care of the amount of money owed. That's what he's trying to do.
Correct. And in addition, he's making steps beyond the money owed to Farm Credit. And I'll tell you, we didn't talk about this last time we talked about it. About the second or third week of November, he went and paid the back taxes for the Uncle Nearest entities. So he's not just taking care of the bank in this case. He's going back and taking care of the creditors. So if you look in our Bedford County property tax records now, you will see that everything that the receiver is in control of, which is Uncle Nearest, the real estate company, all of those, they are back to being current with their county taxes.
Okay.
The entities that he is not in control of that are still up for debate, the Shelbyville Grand, the other ones like the U.S. Bank building on the square, the Times Gazette building, those property taxes have not been paid, because he's not in control of those. So he's going in there and fixing things.
Yeah, that's his primary concern is the Uncle Nearest business.
That's all he has control over. He's asked to look at the other books. That was actually another filing he did on Wednesday, was just an update on where he was with the 10 additional companies that he doesn't have control over now. He said he's received bank statements on, he's determined that 7 of the 10 are somehow intertwined. He feels like he's received 2 years of bank statements from those 7 companies. He has requested an additional 3 years of bank statements from them, which are due to him December 1st, which I believe is Monday, maybe. So he's digging into those, trying to figure out if there's been some commingling of funds and money going back and forth that would open them to him also taking control of those companies as well, which might be, I mean, you could argue that could be part of the reason that suddenly this filing came out. He's about to dig deeper into the other 7 companies on, as of Monday, he should have more paperwork on that. He also did say the 7 that he received bank statements on, he asked for more detail, like check copies and stuff, because you get a bank statement that says check 1564 for this amount, you don't know what it is. And he said they have failed to provide him that.
I doubt he doesn't have
that detail to go with these bank statements. So he's going to go back, and they've promised him if he will list off questionable transactions, they will explain those to him one by one. So that should be an interesting process as well. So where we sit right now with this Monday filing is the judge said as of December 2nd, which is Tuesday, he needed to hear back from everybody. He's now heard from everybody except Farm Credit. So the bank, and what has been their modus operandi through this whole operation is they like to wait till 11:59 the day that it's due and file. So they may well have their paperwork ready, but I guess they don't want anybody to have a chance to respond to it. So they file at the very last second. So I would say Tuesday, late in the evening, we'll get a filing from the bank. And then the judge is going to go back and look at all this and say, hey, do we just need to stay where we're at, or do we need to go and start having hearings? And the receiver said, if we start having hearings, he said, he used the word scores. So that would mean
a lot
more than 40 entities that have approached him that want to take legal action against Uncle Nearest, and they're currently held from doing that because of
the receivership
right now. So if this gets opened up, everybody's going to come in and want to start suing. So
if you're on the other side of that and you're trying to defend yourself, you wouldn't want that to happen.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, from everything we're seeing, he's doing a good job, and he's kind of getting things. And another point he made there, which was in the post that we did, as the company sits, which he's still digging through the financials, but as the company sits, he feels like they don't have the operating capital as it's operating right now to even pay the debt to service the debt that they have right now.
No, not to even make a payment. They can't do it.
They can't make the payments on time. So why would you want to blow the whole thing up and go back to where they were? So it's interesting.
We got to remember who has brought the lawsuit. It's Farm Credit.
Yes,
Farm Credit is who's looking for protection, and they were the first one to come to the plate.
Right.
And I'm going to think they're going to get to eat out of the plate. They're the ones that's going to be protected.
I think they seem to be first in line as far as on the debt.
Yeah.
So, and then you've got a bunch of investors that
who knows
if they even get pennies on the dollar down the road. That'll depend on where this ends up. But they're way down the line because behind Farm Credit, you've got these scores of other people that
scores.
Are money.
That's a lot.
His scores is what he said. He didn't give a number, but he said scores. So we'll keep following that. We weren't expecting to hear anything on that again until January, but this court filing kind of came out of left field. So it seems like we're going to get some more activity here in the next few weeks. So we'll keep an eye on it and we'll keep covering it. Other than that, in government news here locally,
what?
Government news.
Government
news. Tuesday evening, the County Finance Committee met. It was hard to get there was hardly anybody in the room. I guess the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, they did get a quorum. They got a quorum.
That's good.
They had a quorum, so they were able to have a meeting. But as far as attendance, it was light. Not gonna lie.
Did our building project manager give a report?
He did not. He was not there.
Wasn't he requested to be?
No, he was requested to come to the committee meeting, which will happen in December. Okay, so we'll see if he shows for that. But no, he was not there. He was out of town for a lot of people out of town for the holidays.
Yep.
The only thing of note, and we covered this last week because we'd heard this was coming down the road, but sales tax revenue dropped in October year over year. That's just 1 month so far. It may just be an anomaly, but that'll be something we'll keep an eye on. If the economy turns and sales tax revenue starts dropping, that hits both the city and the county in their pocket.
But I'm afraid that's where we're at, Josh.
So again, 1 month is not a trend.
No, but
it could turn into a trend if it turned into.
You just talk to people and hear about Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
We're just not doing as much this year because we really can't afford to do what we did last year type stuff because of price increases. And I think there's a little bit of a fear of, I don't need to spend as much because we don't know what's ahead. Some of that fear of the future.
Yeah, and for the month of October, the number we were down, it was over $100,000, which is a significant amount. It wasn't just a small blip; it was a good chunk. So that was about it for that meeting. All my meetings happened on Tuesday. I immediately left that meeting, rushed across the square to the Shelbyville Power, Water, and Sewer Board meeting. Couple items of note there: they recently bought electric trucks. I believe they're Silverados.
Who bought electric trucks?
Shelbyville Power did. They bought 3 just to test them out, see how they like them.
Just a test run. Is this for their service trucks?
Well, not the big trucks, obviously, but these are pickup size trucks. And the 3 guys that got them love them. They said that they are actually charging once a week. And actually one guy, I think he'd had his for a month and had only charged it twice. So they said, and they obviously they're the electric company. They get to buy electricity at wholesale from TVA. Right. So that helps their pricing.
If you're selling electricity, you probably need to be driving an electric vehicle. Sort of, kind of. I don't know.
Yeah. So they loved it. So
I'm still not sold on them, Josh.
Yeah, they're not cheap, but they got a really good deal too. I can't remember the dollar amount, but I want to say they get them at maybe 15, 20,000 under sticker or something. So they got excellent deals on them. That was brought up a couple months ago at their meeting when they decided to buy them, but they're loving them. Something that I had just heard rumblings about, but this was brought out this meeting. It also made it somewhere else that I saw. I can't remember. But anyways, we've got some traffic signal issues.
Well, you ain't kidding. I can tell you about this one right here.
Okay.
Whitthorne at Madison.
Whitthorne at Madison. What has happened at Whitthorne and Madison? They replaced the sensor with a new, what is called a 360 camera. So there is a single camera that is supposed to be looking at all angles of that intersection, deciding if there's vehicles there. Problem number one, they ran into one of the approaches, which I can't remember which one. It wasn't seeing the vehicles.
That would be my side.
That was probably your side. So it wasn't changing at all.
I sit there for a while.
You could sit there forever and it didn't see you.
Yeah.
So for a while, they were doing a deal where they automatically had that direction, which was not the primary direction. Madison obviously being the primary. Whatever approach it was that it wasn't seeing, they had that one turning green on a cycle, whether there was a vehicle there or not. So if you're driving there and there was no vehicle, you still had to wait for it, which upset people. So they got that fixed. But now this particular sensor is so new, it's got firmware issues. The firmware is crashing. There's this is such a new type of a deal that there's continuing issues at that intersection. So it could run perfectly for 4 days in a row, and then the firmware will crash, and then it's all haywire.
I got a suggestion for that place right there. It's changed. The traffic flow has changed there a little bit since Dees has moved his trailer there,
right?
Because you got a lot of people coming down Madison Street and turning left, going into Dees to get
breakfast,
especially in the morning. That if you sit there and do the evaluation, does there need to be a traffic light there? I don't think there does. Because I come up there every morning, and when I do get the green turn signal coming from south to north, turning left onto 41A, I about got whacked out by a big truck flying up through there because the sun is coming up and the sun is glaring right in their face, and they don't see the light. They don't
see the red light.
And I'm like, you got to pull out and look and make sure, or you're going to get nailed right there. That's just one of them things that's not a good position for a light, and it's been there forever. But
I can't see them taking a light. I've never heard of them removing a light. So they're waiting for the company to issue a firmware update. I learned a little bit at this meeting. I didn't realize the way these work is the sensors and the lights. The city pays for the infrastructure, the sensors, the lights, and all that. But the city doesn't have bucket trucks and all that.
Right.
So Shelbyville Power is overseeing these and running them, make sure they work. But the city's the one that actually has to provide.
Well, Josh, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
How many years you lived here?
Right at 4 now.
You said shovel, and I am impressed. I am impressed. Everybody, aren't you proud of Josh? He said Shelbyville Power.
Shelbyville Power.
Shelbyville Power.
Shelbyville Power. So
you're one of us, no doubt. You've infiltrated very good. What do you call acclimated?
Acclimated. So in addition to that intersection, though, however, we've got they only mentioned one by name, but there's at least 2 or 3 others the one they mentioned by name is Peacock at 231. That has basically a camera sensor for each direction. In the fall, when the sun hits a certain angle, it hits that camera and it can't see the cars coming from one direction. So it will not change until the sun hits a certain angle, and it messes it up. I don't know if it's morning and afternoon or afternoon only. So they're going to have to replace those sensors with radar sensors. And this is not the only one. There's 2 or 3. I think the one at Walmart might be one, because I've heard that one does the same thing. So there's newer technology, but they said that technology is what's currently running the one at Fairfield and the bypass, the new intersection there. But it's going to cost the city and the neighborhood, they were guessing $70,000 per light to upgrade those. So they're going to have to put that in next year's budget and find a way to fund it.
Yeah.
So, but they did say it's a safety issue. If something, God forbid, were to lead to a major accident at one of those intersections, you would have wished you spent the $70,000.
Yeah, exactly. $70,000 sounds like an insurance policy to me.
Right. Yeah. Because they said there could be liability for both either the city or Chevrolet Power. So they're, so those need to get fixed. Last item of note, because I had to leave actually partway through the water board to get to the next one. There was an article in the newspaper. We covered it, Bedford County Post 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, about the PFAS, the forever chemicals in the water.
Right.
That article, when it went to Facebook, got a totally different headline put on it, which was, they feel like, and they're probably right, a little bit of a clickbait headline about cancer-causing chemicals, we're out of compliance. So they were concerned about that, as you might be, because they felt like they lost a lot of goodwill with people in the community. So the response they've come back with is they have actually hired a PR firm. So,
oh my gosh,
they have hired a PR firm. So
they
they are signing a 90-day contract with a PR firm to try to improve their standing in the community.
How many people have turned their water off because of this?
I don't think anybody's turned it off.
Probably not.
No, probably not.
And if somebody's coming into town, do you think they're going to, oh, I'm not going to turn the water on here?
No, probably not.
Probably not.
No.
Then why would you hire a PR firm? Why can't you just put out your own statements that this was blown out of proportion? Do a little video, hire somebody.
Well, they're hiring.
No, I'm not saying not hire anybody. Just do it in house and still. But that's just. I mean, that's how rich folks do things. Poor folks do it the old-fashioned way.
You go on Facebook yourself.
Go say, hey guys, this was blown out of proportion. But anyway, private company, so whatever.
Yeah, I get their concerns. So
I understand.
But I'm tight like you, and I'm probably going to spend the
money. I wouldn't spend the money for a PR firm.
So
Josh would have got on the video and said, "Hey guys, this is a little bit blown out of proportion.
Yeah,
look, I'm going to drink it. You know, if you say show yourself drinking the water,
yeah,
that's all you got to do.
Yeah. Well, and I do.
And if you don't want to,
no, I filter my water.
But if you don't want to drink the water, then that's a problem.
Well, yeah. If you work there and you don't drink the water, that would be concerning.
No, but if everybody just drink the water, Anyway,
so
I had to go off on that.
That's okay. And actually, just circling back around to that PFAS issue, we were told that there was a deadline of the end of this year for them to take action. They have not taken action yet. They've got one more board meeting, but they did mention at the board meeting that there's now conflicting information of whether there is a deadline or not at the end of the year. So I don't know where that stands, other than no action's been taken yet as far as joining in the lawsuit or not. So
talk about the deadline. To make sure you don't miss the deadline.
Well, definitely don't want to miss the deadline. If the deadline is where they thought it was originally, it's the end of the year, and there's one more board meeting. So I will attempt to the last board meeting. They've crammed it onto a day with a bunch of other ones. I'm going to try to get to it, and we'll see if they take action at the December board meeting. So Tuesday evening, third meeting in a row. The first one was at 4:15. Then the power board was 5. This one was at 6. Was the big one. This was City Planning Commission. We met for 2.5 hours.
I saw that video.
2.5 hours. Not many people saw that video. I think last I looked on YouTube, it had like 15 views because nobody wants to watch 2.5 hours of planning. I had to live through it, so I was there. I'm going to give you the cliff notes. The issue that slowed us down right off the front end of the thing, 45 minutes, first 45 minutes of the meeting was the back and forth over the 63-unit townhome project on Amos Smith Road. What it came down to was, this is one of those cases, which I don't like them. Most people don't like them, but we have them. The property was zoned R4, and even though very few people on the planning commission were happy with the finished product that we were presented with, they met the legal guidelines for 63 townhomes on the property, and we had to approve it. So initially, when it first came up for a motion, nobody even spoke up and even wanted to give a motion. That's how few people were for the property as it was sent to us. The initial motion was brought up to deny it, but that didn't even go to a vote because we do have the city attorney there, and it was pretty clear that there was no legal grounds to deny the project. So it has been approved. 63 townhomes. It's Amos Smith, very near Horse Mountain Road there. It does fall under the sewer moratorium area, so they can't build more than 23 until all the sewer issues get fixed on the east side of town. So it's several years down the road before they could do this, but it did have to finally get approved. I found anyways, we made some changes already to our open space and green space to try to fix neighborhoods like this. We didn't go far enough because it didn't fix it. So we're going to have to go further. Is basically the Cliff Notes version. They did bring in a couple things with this one that they had to because of our new requirements we had, which was a dog park and a walking trail, which was nice, but we still ended up with too many units crammed on a too small an amount of space. It's basically just two big rows of townhomes, just like the new one they're building on Madison Street.
This is our theme.
Yeah.
A lot of houses in a small area, a lot of living quarters in a small area, townhomes, apartments, duplexes, cottages. Whatever you want to call it.
Very little amenity.
That's our theme.
Yeah. Just how much can we squeeze into the acreage? So so that's ended up with it. It's unfortunate. But we're going to have to take some more action at this planning commission to fix some of that. So we did give a favorable recommendation on an annexation and rezoning on 231 North as the Wilhelm property. That is a piece of property that actually they thought they've been in the city since like 2009. They've been paying city property taxes, and they went to do some changes to one corner of the property, and they found out they're not in the city.
Okay, so how did they get a notice for property taxes if they weren't even in the city?
You tell me. I don't know. They've been paying them for years.
So is that like bumped up now? How does that work out?
They're going to keep paying the same taxes they have.
But what about the ones they paid?
They don't get them back. There's some kind of state law. They could come back and ask for, I think, 2 or 3 years if they wanted to, but they've not even done that. So I don't understand the whole situation to begin with.
That's crazy.
They're also not getting a number of city services. They don't have access to sewer and water there.
Now, hello.
And they're still willing to pay the city taxes. So that's what it is. That's what's happening. So I don't know. This was a recommendation. It'll go to council, but I can't see the council turning down somebody willing to pay more taxes without getting the services. So there was a favorable recommendation on and it seems like annexation is the name of the game currently. We haven't had some of these in a while, but we're adding 25 acres at the near the corner of Fairfield Pike and the bypass. This would be to the east side of Fairfield Pike, not right up against Fairfield. It's a couple parcels over. 13 acres of that, we sent a favorable recommendation to the city council to rezone it to commercial, so you can put commercial up there. However, they had requested that the back 12 acres that are, back off the bypass, that they could put in an apartment complex. It would have allowed about 180 units, and we sent an unfavorable recommendation on that. Couple reasons. It's adjacent to a bunch of R2, so a bunch of big lots, so it didn't fit with the neighborhood. The property right to the east of it, they had requested going up to R3, which was again smaller lots, and that had already been denied by the city council last month, so it didn't fit in with what's going in.
What's it zoned right now?
Well, it's currently zoned county agricultural, so if the city council turns down the R4, it'll come in as R1. So it'll come in as R1, and then they can come back and ask for a rezoning from that. But they asked on the way in to come in as R4, and we're sitting in an unfavorable recommendation on that.
Good job.
Yeah. So there is also a site plan was presented to us behind the Wendy's on Madison Street. Cooper Steel is wanting to store their finished products. It's called a laydown yard. It's finished steel that's waiting to be shipped out of town. They did not have a traffic study done yet, so that was deferred, I believe, for 90 days for them to get a traffic study. The issue at that location is Madison itself is commercial, as we know, and what they're actually going to use this for is industrial. So they're back off Madison. The concern is getting a bunch of industrial truck traffic onto Madison. We don't want to create some kind of a traffic issue there. So they're going to do a traffic study and come back with that. So McDale Lane, 150 houses on 56 acres. This was a subdivision that was approved 4 or 5 years ago, and then the builder never built it. So he lost his vested rights to build the subdivision. So he is coming back to the city with a new plan that is slightly better than the original plan, and asking to have it passed again. This was a concept, so there was no vote. He was just showing us what he's working on. There wasn't really a lot of pushback on it. There were some things that he's going to need to fix before it comes before us. But that is McDale. It's McDale. It's just off 231 there.
Right.
So, and the bypass. Also, there was another concept plan. This is another one where we didn't vote on it, but there is a PUD already approved at Cedar Glade Circle. That's over between Victory Baptist and say Walmart. It's in there behind Feldhouse Funeral Home. That had already been approved for townhomes back there. They have decided that they don't need those townhomes, and they think they could do better with commercial lots back there. So they're going to come back and change that to commercial property is the request. So that was just a concept. They want us to look at it. Same thing. They didn't get a whole lot of feedback. But I expect that will pass when the time comes. Last thing on the agenda was there is a portion of Eagle Boulevard over there close to Hillcrest. There's a weird corner. It's several bad intersections.
It's like 150 yards, isn't it? Something like that.
It's a short portion. Yeah. It's weird. Cooper Steel has offered to fix all the intersection area over there, that portion of railroad and all that, if we abandon that weird angle of Eagle Boulevard to Cooper Steel. So I think
they own all the property on all sides.
They own all around it.
It's basically a driveway for them now.
Well, it is, and it's a bad intersection. So they're going to fix all that in exchange for which the city.
I wonder when that was going to happen. I could see that one coming.
Yeah, it was coming. So I think it will happen. The city council will have to approve.
It's coming up Railroad.
There's that
weird
track,
and you make a turn.
Weird
you
left.
go straight.
Yeah, so they're going to fix.
Blocked off there.
Yeah, the straight is going to be fixed, and the weird turn is going to go away.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Yeah, so that's that was that, and that was 2.5 hours on a Tuesday night. And other than that, that was the last government meeting that I went to this week.
Last government meeting
because it was football and turkey after that.
Yeah.
So unless you got it, you want to cover.
We do have some comments. We've got a lot of people watching. Steve Jordan was talking about our taxes. He said, "Watch out, property taxes. Here it comes." We're talking about the
sales
decrease
tax.
in sales.
Yeah,
I think there is a lot of opportunity for tax increases coming up. Maybe not this year, but there could be. Who knows? But I think going forward, as things increase, costs of doing stuff is just increasing. Period. You either going to have to decrease services or increase taxes. You got to have the revenue to pay for it.
Correct. And part of what we've had this discussion before, and the growth that we're getting right now, which is these a lot of this, the townhomes, the starter homes, the rental properties. Those properties, as people move into them, don't cover the cost of the services.
No.
So the more of those that move in, the more pressure you're putting
on
the city and the county to raise
the more rooftop theory is invalid.
Yeah.
When you start really putting the numbers to it.
Yeah, the math doesn't work. So as you continue to build, $300,000 houses and rental units, you put pressure on particularly the school systems.
Right.
First place they're going to feel it. The county's going to almost have to raise property taxes to keep up with just the school growth.
Right.
And that's not counting the other growth that comes with that, the roads, the sheriff's department, the police department in the city, the fire department, the public works.
And I can also see the city, if you keep building townhomes and apartment complexes and high density population type projects inside the city, you're going to have increased fire services, increased police services, increased traffic service,
all of that.
Garbage pickup.
Yeah.
Your roads are more wear into everything.
Yeah,
and there's another place. So then you're going to have to deal with it as a council person.
Yeah, then the city's going to have the same. So yeah, both sides of the both sides.
So here's what you do. I think you start polling your public, the taxpayer, do you want to decrease your services or do you want to continue our services as they are?
Right.
And if that's the case, you're voting for a property tax increase. And I hate tax increases more than anybody, Josh.
I don't want to do a tax increase.
I know.
Yeah. Nobody wants tax increase.
You're going to cut something to pay for something, or you're going to do away with it, or you're going to raise property. You have three options, and that's it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's math. We're not Washington, D.C. We don't get the option to print shovel bucks.
No.
We can't print our own money. So,
Are you proposing we have shovel bucks?
I don't think we can do it.
I don't think so either. So that's the dilemma.
Right. Yeah.
And that's assuming that the money's being spent properly now.
Right.
You got to evaluate that too.
Sure. Yeah. You got to look at all your
So
departments, see if there's any wiggle room there to squeeze a few bucks out. But it's
going to get tough.
Everything's going up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a break, and we're going to come back, and you're going to give us a look ahead.
Yeah. Let's hear from our sponsors, and we'll come right back.
Now available at Auto Collection. We currently have 2 excellent vehicles in stock, both with clean titles and in great condition. 2015 Ford Escape, 119,000 miles. 2021 Nissan Altima, 60,000 miles. Whether you're looking for a dependable SUV or a modern, fuel-efficient sedan, these vehicles offer quality, reliability, and value. Visit us at Auto Collection 319, Madison Street, Shelbyville. Call us today, 931-492-4663. Schedule your test drive and let us help you find the right vehicle for your needs.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
Ready to upgrade your space? At Extreme Flooring in Shelbyville, we've got you covered. From carpet and hardwood to luxury vinyl, tile, and waterproof flooring. We also handle kitchen backsplash and bath remodels. Our design and sales team will help you find the perfect fit with trusted brands like Dreamweaver, Shaw, Mohawk, Dull Tile, and Tile Bar. And their certified installers make sure everything looks just right. Stop by and see us at 225 Colorado Boulevard in Shelbyville, or give us a call at 931-735-6700. Financing is available. Schedule your consultation today at extreme-flooring.com. Let's make your home amazing.
All right, we got some comments come back on the property tax and the expenditure situation. Allie Puckett says Doge. I'm for it.
Doge, bring it on.
I'm for it. Then maybe a little better growth plan. Chuck Glover. I'm for it.
Also good. Also
Two good
yeah.
recommendations.
I will say just from the city side, because I work on that side, we have a joint meeting at least one, sometimes twice a year, but definitely they're planning one for February, which we call a growth meeting. It is the city council, the planning commission, and the utility board will all meet together in February. That's usually over a afternoon. It goes a couple hours over at the big meeting room at the rec center.
Yep.
So we'll be talking about all those issues there, because they're coming down the pike. So just like a train coming down the tracks. Which, speaking of which, let's
That's a great
transition
segue
into
there,
what's
Josh.
coming up this week. Tuesday evening, city council study session. Not a super exciting agenda, not gonna lie. I saw it. It was mainly the stuff that was at planning that has to be voted on by the city council.
You're going to study it.
We're going to study it. Yeah, we're not going to vote on it Tuesday.
I
We're
have
just
been
gonna talk
watching
about
the
it.
study sessions from time to time.
Have you been
Josh.
watching the study? Do you see any
I
studying?
don't see much studying going on.
Now they generally just read through it, and hopefully we have some comments. This is where
Not
you're
usually
supposed to
not a
talk
lot of
about it.
comments.
Usually not a lot. I wish there was more comments sometimes. So
That's where you hash it out.
you're supposed to hash it out. Yeah, there should be some hashing. There's not always a lot of
Right.
hashing. So there
How
should
do
be
we?
more
How do
hashing.
we? How can we inspire hashing it out?
I don't know. I feel
You
hate to-
try.
I
I
hate
know.
to be the only one.
I
that's
know,
just sitting
man.
there. Then it's like
Surely
man,
there's some
then
questions.
everybody's like, man, shut him up so we can get out of here. So,
But
yeah.
here's what happens. Okay,
Yeah.
you go to the hash it out meetings.
Yeah.
Nobody hashes it out. Then it comes to the regular meeting,
There's no discussion.
No discussion, and you voted, and then everybody fusses about it after the vote.
There's a lot of fussing after the vote. There's fussing after the vote.
The hashing comes early, man.
Yeah. So Wednesday morning, it's going to be cold. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to wear, but we're going to be outside breaking ground for the new MTSU facility. So groundbreaking Wednesday morning, 9:00, digging a hole in the ground, I guess, with shovels.
Speaking of MTSU,
yeah.
Let's talk about the air traffic around here. Have you gone outside at night and just looked around at the amount of activity in our skies?
I have not, but I'm not going to lie. I lived at the end of the runway for Nashville Airport most of my life, so there was so much I didn't even notice. I mean, there was jets.
You should take a look sometime, Josh.
Yeah.
We have a busy sky.
Things are busy. Okay, well, that's good. That's activity, I guess. So as long as they stay up there and then land on the runway, we're all good. Speaking of train coming down the track, Thursday morning, it's a special called Railroad Authority meeting. So this is going to be an exciting one. What happened was last month at the Railroad Authority, we couldn't get enough people there. There was not a quorum. We couldn't vote. And there is a contract that runs out at the end of this year that has to be voted on. So we're making another attempt to have a Railroad Authority meeting. Hopefully there will be enough people there that we have a quorum and we can vote. And this thing should last probably 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
If we have enough
people. Could you do this by Zoom?
I don't think they allow you to Zoom.
Well, you did during COVID.
Yeah, COVID's over, so they make us be there. So,
I mean, are they afraid you're going to put a fake person up there or something? You could do it. Really could do it on Zoom.
Yeah, maybe somebody would hack it in and AI. They do an AI version of me, and they're voting the wrong way.
Okay, all right. Okay.
I'm not sure. So we got to be there. I'll be there. Railroad Authority. We're voting on a contract. Then the big one, Friday, 4 to 7 o'clock on the historic town square. It's a Bedford County Christmas. There's going to be live music. There's going to be live reindeer. There's going to be a tree's going to get lit up. The courthouse is going to get lit, and they're going to shoot off fireworks after the lighting. And there will additionally be, I believe, at City Hall, they're having hot cocoa. The popcorn stand is open.
Absolutely.
Popcorn stand is open. Donation only. You pick your price. You pay for the popcorn. It's going to a good cause. I don't remember the cause.
Let me tell you about the popcorn stand. There is a reel going around on Facebook where Warren Landers is talking about the history of the popcorn stand. If you have not watched it,
I've not seen it.
You need to listen to this and how it got started.
Okay.
At one time, and this is one little tidbit, we had 2 theaters in Shelbyville.
Yeah.
Neither theater sold popcorn. They wanted to make sure the popcorn sold it.
Oh.
They said, all right, and it was both. One was called the Bedford and one was called the Princess, where the Capri is now, was the Princess. Both agreed, we're not going to sell popcorn and compete against this lady selling the popcorn. So if you want popcorn, you go down there and get it and bring it back in. And that's what they did. And that's how they kept the popcorn stand alive for years. They didn't want to compete against her because they loved the family so much.
Well, try bringing popcorn into a movie theater now. They'd shoot you on the way
not?
in. And not at the Capri. I'm sure the Capri's nice.
No.
But in general, if you try to bring in outside food into a
But that's
movie
the
theater
type
now.
place Shelbyville was back in the day.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But Warren gave the history of it. It was an awesome video. I encourage you to hunt that down on Facebook.
I will look
interesting.
For that. I will look for that. And then I saw a comment there. I wanted to go back to, where was it at?
Talking about
senior citizens.
Yes,
Senior citizens. We do both as a county and a city, and I've had this discussion with at least one of our county commissioners, and possibly I talked about with our trustee briefly, and I do need to go further into this. We should have, as a number of counties have in Tennessee, a property tax freeze for senior citizens. It is available to us. It has to be passed by the city council and the county commission. I think it's a no-brainer. The fact that we haven't had it and it's been available for
it doesn't make
10
any
plus
sense.
years.
It
makes no sense that we're not on board with this. It is a little bit of a chore for the people that get the tax break. You actually have to go back and re-qualify every year. It's not like you sign up for a form. Yeah, but you do have to do it every year. You have to. There's an income limit. You have to qualify every year, but it's definitely worth it. It freezes your property tax. That way, when we get in a situation where we're at now, where it's likely there's going to be a tax increase coming down the road at some point, you don't have to pay that property tax increase, which as a senior citizen, that's retire and live here your whole life and on a fixed income, you shouldn't have to be paying these
No.
tax increases. So I would challenge our county commission, and I will try to have more conversation with the trustee. I think we should be on board with this. I don't think it's that difficult for us to get past. I think everybody would be on board with it pretty much.
Well, the
It's
last
not a
time-
big drain on the
Right.
county or city budget.
No.
It's
Josh, this came
yeah.
up about 7 or 8 years ago.
it
No,
went
maybe
nowhere.
even maybe 5 years ago. Maybe
Yeah.
it's not been that long. It seems like it was right around COVID. They were talking
Yeah.
about putting a freeze on, and the county didn't do it. Nobody did it, and
Right.
instead the county gave this link and said you can go on Tennessee and get some relief, and everybody got like a $60 check or something if you filed it in.
We are participating in
talking
some
about.
kind of a tax relief program, but it's not the same as
No.
the freeze for seniors that
Yeah.
are under a certain income limit. I'd be 100% for it. I think, knowing most of the city council like I do, I think we would be able to pass it unanimously.
Yep.
I can't believe that the county commission would not also be able to pass
It's just
it,
like
so
they said it was a big ordeal to do for their computers. I think the technology we have today,
I don't
they could
think
pull
it's
it
that
off.
hard.
You hit freeze.
Yeah.
No more going
I-
up on
yeah,
this one.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there would be a little bit of work involved at the. I don't know if it's just the trustee, maybe the tax assessor as well, but I think
I
more than
don't
worth
know.
it for the
Yeah.
benefit to the seniors. So
Yeah.
I would be for it 100%. I will look into it some more as much as I can from my position. I can't make the decision to bring that to the
Right.
council or move it forward, but I think it's something we should definitely be looking.
We can talk about it too. We keep
raise
talking
awareness
about it. And,
and-
and that's something for everybody
Yeah.
out there. If you live in the county, contact your commissioner and tell them this is what needs to be done.
Yeah, we want to see
We
your
want
property
this.
tax
We
freeze.
want this.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, we're going to find somebody that will do it.
Right. And this would be a good time to do it
It's
because
a
they're
good
all
time to do
about
it.
to be up for election.
All right.
next
And if
year,
you live in the
so
city, you
contact
also
your
live in the
city
county.
council. Yeah.
So you got 2 calls to make.
Yeah, you get
No, actually, you got 3 calls to make. 2 commissioners and 1 council
one
person.
council person if you live in the city.
And call your council person. Tell them you want the senior freeze on property taxes.
Yeah.
And you heard it first here.
Yeah.
Josh Blevins
And you
is on
don't
it.
need to. You don't even have to call them. If you've got 3 people contact, type up one email. All those email addresses are on the city and county website.
Yep.
Copy all 3 of them on the same email and send them an email and say, "Hey, get on this property tax." freeze."
Exactly.
So
Hey,
yeah.
Josh Blevins, you said it first. You've
I
repeated it. I know.
I've repeated
but
it.
this
I've
is the
heard it
most
from others,
recent.
yes, as
I've
well.
never heard a city council person. I heard a county commissioner person say it. I've never heard a city council person come out and say it publicly like this.
Yeah.
This is actually what needs to start taking place.
Oh, it should.
What's
Yeah.
available? I mean, a lot of people don't know that this is available option,
Yeah.
and you look for it. Some people don't want to know that it's an available
Right,
option.
but it's
there.
Rutherford County, I believe,
Yeah.
is already on the program, and I believe Davidson as well. So there's other bigger counties around us that are
Yes,
already
that have done
participating. So yeah,
And when you say this to a commissioner, well, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, needs to
But
be done.
Needs to be
So,
done. Well,
yeah.
but anyway, Josh, thanks for all your hard work this week on a holiday week. Lots happened.
Lots going on. A
and,
few things will be going on this week. We'll come
And
back
by the
talk
way,
about
we
it.
will be doing a live stream
Oh, that's
on
right.
Saturday. Not this Saturday, of course, but next Saturday, the
Christmas parade is the day
Yeah.
after the big tree lighting. The day after that is the Christmas parade. The parade starts at 4. I think you're
Yeah.
starting live stream at
3:45.
3:45.
Yeah.
I may or may not be riding in the parade, throwing out candy out here.
Oh,
so
you may?
I may. Yes,
You may be throwing candy.
I may be throwing candy. I was told.
Are you playing Santa Claus or are you
I am
just
not
doing
Santa
it
Claus no.
because you're a city?
I think I
bigwig
think
now?
the city can't. I'm not a big. I am not a big wig, but I do hear that
Okay.
the city council rides in the parade,
Does-
and throws
yep,
candy
you
at
do.
children.
You
so
do. Throw
yes.
it at children
Throws
or
candy
to children?
at children. I
Okay.
think we're supposed to hit the kids.
Okay,
so,
all right.
yeah,
That's
I don't know. I was
pretty
told
big.
I have to throw candy at kids. So
But
Yeah.
thanks for everybody for participating today, and be on the lookout for our live stream next week. Friday big event.
yeah,
everybody
Friday
get
big
out for
event on the
that.
square. Yeah, get down for that.
It's gonna be a little cool. It looks like.
gonna be a little cool. Wear a jacket. Small chance of rain right now. Hopefully that won't be
Yeah.
there when we get there, and it should be a fun time.
Yeah, just
So.
keep watching Southern weather.
Southern Tennessee weather.
Yeah.
He will have an official forecast, I bet,
An
as we get
official
closer.
forecast,
So
yes.
yeah, his will be the correct one. So watch for
Absolutely.
his.
All righty, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great week ahead.
Bye bye.